Maybe you should surround yourself with
What
people that can
Stacey
have
said.
intellectual conversations, Stacey.
Do what now?
Surround yourself with people that can have those conversations. Maybe those people just aren't capable.
Oh, I usually do. Like I said, I was mainly at my job when I'm dealing with a ton of people or I'm out and about. But yeah, I surround myself with quite a bit of intellectual people. Yeah.
Well, I think he's on about the fact that you hang around with us guys who, don't believe in his globe, so therefore inferring that we're all dumb.
Yeah.
I don't have a globe.
I don't
Earth
think you
is
should hang around with these types of people. I think you should hang out with people who ask about the
your
weather.
tag. Say Earth is globe. That's a self-selected tag, which meant that you clicked on that yourself. So you either chose to be a glober for fun,
Oh,
shits and gigs. Huh?
Do I believe in your flat Earth?
Wait, what do you mean?
Are you a flat earther?
Does it say I've got one?
I'm asking you, are you a flat earther?
No.
Are you a globe earther?
No.
How come you don't know?
What do you mean?
Why don't you know the shape?
What don't I know? The Earth
Yeah,
The
exactly.
properties of the Earth, the shape,
The
the
Earth
reality of
is.
Earth.
Well, you're asking me if I'm a flat earther. I don't really agree with the terms.
Where's your
Do
flat
you
Earth?
understand what the shape and nature of Earth is?
Hey,
No, I don't think me or you knows the shape. Actually, I don't think any of us know the shape.
Chucky,
Oh.
is flat a shape?
Right?
No, it's a property.
It's a feature.
It's descriptive of the surface of a shape, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
for you
descriptive,
to say that the Earth is flat in shape is an oxymoron.
I said or shape or nature, genius.
You claimed flat Earth was a shape. Flat
think
is
the
not a
Earth-
shape.
And then I corrected it to say shape or nature.
I think
Well,
the
Do you know
Earth
the
is
shape and nature of
variable.
Earth?
Wait, yeah, the
Do you
Earth is
think-
areable. The Earth is mostly areable.
Arable?
Yeah.
You're talking about Earth with a small E. I'm talking about Earth with a
I'm on
capital
about
E.
the fact that I can grow stuff. It's one of it. It's part of its nature.
Okay. Do you know the approximate whether or not Earth is flat or a sphere? It has a shape. So do you know the shape of Earth?
Well, like we've asserted, Chucky, flat is not a shape. It's a
Yeah,
feature.
but something that has flat features on it has a shape. Everything that is matter has a shape.
Well,
It might be
determine what shape you are talking about, because flat is not a shape, and then
I
we can
don't
start
know.
talking.
I'm asking you to tell me what shape the Earth is because I know that it's an oblate spheroid.
You,
What do you
don't-
think it is?
You believe it's an oblate spheroid.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what you believe, DP?
I know that the surface of water is planar in nature, and Magoon backed me up on this the other day.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
No,
he did.
didn't.
Yes,
You
he did.
misunderstood.
He said
Sorry.
you can take the two ends of a water level infinitely far within the plane that they form, and they still form that plane. That is
Yes.
planar in nature. The surface of the water is planar in nature. Magoon
No.
agreed with me.
That's not what he said. He said the water level creates a plane. Because that's what
And
water
the
level is.
the two ends of that water level can be taken to infinite distance within that plane and remain within the plane. That is what he agreed to. Talking about hydrostatics.
But he never made a claim about the surface.
He
of a lake.
agreed all the way with the statements made, Chucky.
Right. Those statements are correct. But that doesn't mean
Yeah,
the surface of-
absolutely they are correct. The ends of the water level
Why do you keep
and
interrupting me,
the
Fred?
surface of the water remains within the plane no matter the distance of the ends of those water levels within the plane. Absolutely they're correct.
Yeah, and the surface of a lake is clearly not a plane. So
Well, that's your claim. That is your claim.
No,
it's
it's my
never
observation.
been demonstrated. It's never been measured. So I suggest you get out there, demonstrate it, measure it, prove there's a drop at the water level from that established plane, and then we can start talking. How about that?
There
Because
is not a drop of
so
water.
far, one of your god bosses agrees with me.
Water level doesn't drop.
Water level doesn't drop. No, it remains
Right.
within the plane that it establishes. Goon agrees with
Right.
me. Goon agrees with me, Chunky.
He does not agree with you, Dickie.
He did agree with me. It's recorded. I've done sound clips. Do you want to listen to one?
He agreed that the two ends of a water level can remain in the same place.
Remain in the plane no matter the distance. Yes.
If you put it in the live stream of the
Green plane
video,
is
I
not
can
the
put
water
it.
level. The surface of a lake is not a plane.
That's your claim. Go out and
No, it's
demonstrate
not.
it.
Drop a
I
YouTube
also
clip. I'll
observe
play
it
it.
every time I go for a swim in a calm lake, which is many times every summer.
Now you're just reifying your belief system.
How is that reifying a belief when I observe something?
Because you go and measure it. Your observations don't mean anything, Chucky.
Why would I want to measure it?
What you believe you see doesn't mean anything.
Really? How do I believe that the buoys on the rope or the floats on the rope of the beach 700 meters away disappear when I go low to the water behind the curve?
Chucky, go and measure it.
What do I need to measure to know that they
Go.
disappear?
You claim that the level line drops from the horizontal plane, the level line being the surface of the water. Toon agrees with me that the surface of the water remains within the plane no matter the distance in that plane of the ends of that water level. You are
I
claiming
think
that that water level drops from that horizontal plane. Go measure it.
Right. I think you need to listen to your conversation again, where McToon said the two
No.
ends of a water level. Nothing about the surface of a lake.
What
If you
bit,
can- if you
what
can
bit
post
about a
more
water
detail on the
level
surface-
and the water within that level do you not understand, Chucky?
Well, we treat the two ends as points, even though they're not technically points. That's what we use them as. So we don't have multiple points. We only really use two.
Yeah, which is a straight
Two
line, which
points are
forms
always-
a straight line. That straight line
Yeah.
lies evenly within the plane. Carry
Yeah.
on.
Which has nothing to do with the overall surface of the lake. Carry on.
That straight line lies evenly within the plane, and that straight line is formed by the two ends of that water level, no matter the distance within that plane.
Nobody disagrees with that.
That is hydrostatic equilibrium. That is a physical law. Such
Yeah.
applies to nature. The surface of that water is planar in nature. Toon agrees.
And a calm lake is in hydrostatic equilibrium as well and is not flat or plane in nature.
That's your claim. You claim that the surface of the water drops away from that horizontal plane. Go
Correct.
measure it, Chunky. What you
Why
think
do I-
you see isn't what's going on.
Answer me again why I need to measure it and how I would instead of observing it every time.
The observation is in your head. To prove it, you need to go and measure it, Chunky.
You can't
So
even
off you
read
go.
properly. Why do you think you can measure
Off you go. Go measure
Excuse
it.
me. No, it's a little chilly right now. It's -4. I'm not
And-
about top of the lake.
Well,
But the
wait
surveyor
until the summertime.
the surveyor who did survey my house has surveyed, and he agrees that the Earth is a sphere. So why is that? People that do measure these things for a living, why do they think the Earth is a sphere?
You mean the measurements that are taken from a constructed horizontal plane that is extended infinitely far in any direction with perpendicular measurements in the vertical taken from that plane up
So like,
or down from that plane.
For example, the elevation.
Elevations,
drawing from
exactly.
mine. Yeah, so what about those that show that the Earth is a sphere?
You cannot
Or at
measure
least
a
accurate.
sphere. You cannot measure a sphere standing on the outside of the sphere using Euclidean geometry. How did they measure that sphere?
So why do they show at LiDAR that there's a deviation from the
Why are you
level
avoiding my
coming in?
question?
What
How
was
did
my
they
question?
measure? How did they measure that plane from the sphere? Sorry, from standing on the outside of the sphere using only Euclidean geometry.
Because you don't understand how curves and points are measured.
All right, so you've gone to the you don't understand
Sorry.
fallacy. You
Yes.
haven't explained how they did it, which is what you claim they did. You've just gone to the you don't understand fallacy.
DP,
You
where
cannot
did you take
you
your
cannot
course on
measure the surface curve of a sphere standing on that sphere, funny bunny air bracket quotation marks, using only Euclidean geometry and surveying techniques. Which bit of that don't you understand?
Very wrong. Where did you learn your surveying techniques? Because that's how you do it.
So, you claim it's very wrong. Walk us through exactly how you do it then, Monkey.
I've already walked you through it. I'm asking you where you learned your
The
surveying
whole
techniques.
room is waiting for
I'm
you
not
to
gonna
walk. The whole
ask
room
about
is waiting for you
from a
to
certified
walk
surveyor.
us
Where did you
through.
learn it?
The whole room is waiting for you to walk us through how you measure the curvature rate of the sphere standing on that sphere using only Euclidean geometry surveying techniques. The floor is yours.
Great. It'll take me less than a minute. You locate several points on that surface, you plot them out, and if they plot out to be a curve, you have a curved surface.
You can't
Where did you
plot
get your deep?
you are what you are doing there, Chucky, is you are making 3 individual angle drop measurements. It is the drop from the horizontal in the perpendicular. All you're doing is elevation changes. Each elevation change is a slope, not a curve. Straight line geometry.
You
Now walk us through again how you get that curve.
when you plot multiple points, DP, you do not draw straight lines between them. Maybe this is your first day.
This is
Because
the
again, I'll
first.
ask you
This
where
is
you
the first rule of surveying. It is all straight lines, triangulations, triangles formed. Euclidean.
the first rule of where did you learn that first rule of surveying?
Chunky, stop avoiding.
I'm
All
not
you're
avoiding.
doing,
That
all
is
you're
not the first
doing
rule of
is
surveying.
forming triangles between the measuring rod,
No, you're not.
the measuring rod, the distance away it is from your measuring instrument, and the measuring instrument itself forms triangles. All perpendicular. Perpendiculars and
Theodolites will give you
elevation changes. Chunky.
Why do you interrupt me?
Because you mic
did
shit.
not learn surveying. Where did you?
Right.
Sorry, Crack, I didn't mean to tread
Where
on you
did-
there.
Where did you learn surveying? Told you always create triangles, DP.
I read a manual. Where did you learn surveying?
You read a manual.
Everybody else seems to have
Something
learned
like that.
surveying through reading a manual.
Well, it is a tool after all.
You post you read. Yes. Can you
I've actually
post the manual
I've
that you
actually
read?
Chunky, shush a minute. I've actually used an auto level. Have you?
No. I've only
Well,
used the Theodolites. Well, what?
well, nothing. Nothing. You were the one that was asking about where did you learn surveying? Everybody
Yes,
else
where did
reads manuals. Everybody else reads manuals about it and claims to be experts
Right.
without actually using the tools. I've used the tools and I've read the manual. So that makes
Do
me
you
as
remember?
an expert surveyor as near enough anybody
Really?
else, as near enough
Oh.
anybody else within this arena.
See, I know more about surveying than you, and I call myself.
I know more about surveying than you do. Brag, brag, brag. Okay. So you should
Why don't you
know,
say it like that?
you should know that surveying techniques is all about triangles, Euclidean geometry, and a measurement of the elevation change in the vertical direction, perpendicular to the
Depends on
horizontal.
what you're surveying.
surveying.
So how did, when they surveyed LIGO, why did they get elevation changes on a straight platform?
They got elevation changes on a straight platform. You're tripping.
Yes, the arms of LIGO are straight, or level, or flat, let's say. Why did they get an elevation change from one end to the other?
You're tripping.
And why did that elevation change? What?
You're tripping. If they're flat, they're level, they're horizontal. There is no deviation from that level line, from the horizontal.
Then, okay, so you say, then why did they measure that deviation?
Who's they? Have you got a citation?
I do. It's from Caltech. I don't recall the name of the surveying company right now, but there are as-built drawings online that you can look for. I'll post them to you, DP, if you don't have me blocked still, like a bitch. Do you still have me blocked like a bitch?
I don't block trolls. Trolls block me.
So I'm not a troll then. Because I don't have you blocked.
But you are a troll.
Did you block
As I
me?
said, I don't block trolls, Chunky.
And you also said trolls block you. Well, I didn't block you, so I'm not a troll. Well done.
Just because you haven't blocked me
I-
doesn't mean
would you
doesn't mean
like
say
me
you're
to
not a
post-
troll, Chunky.
Would you like me to post it in the chat here? Or would you like me to post it to you, TM?
Post it wherever you like.
I'm asking you where you want it, where you're going to read it.
I don't care where you post it. I can read it wherever
you
you
gonna read
post it because you will tag me on it and I will get a notification. So post it wherever you like.
Are you, I think I've done this before and you were unable to read it. Are you still going to play that game?
Why are you so pathetic?
Are you going to answer my question?
Why are you so pathetic?
When I post it, are you going to be unable to go to civil and arms and look at the drawing? Because I'm going to post a link to all the as-built drawings. You have to download the specific one you're looking at. So you know you're looking at civil drawings, right? With your vast experience. He's gone.
Still waiting for you to walk us through how you measure curvature using only Euclidean geometry
I told
and
you.
surveying techniques.
I told you.
No, you've told us how we get slopes.
I told you how you plot the curvature, and then you can measure it from that.
How as measured are slopes.
No, as measured are points. You join the
Our
points, not with
slopes.
straight lines. Because no
Triangular.
surveyor will tell you to do that.
They're all triangles.
You would join with a line of best fit.
So you're talking about an elevation deviation from the horizontal plane in the vertical direction, forming a triangle back to the measuring tool.
No.
Yes,
curve
that is
would not form
that
a
is
triangle.
how surveying tools work, Chunky.
Surveying tools locate.
Surveying tools make measurements.
Yes. 2 points.
The deviation of the elevation from the horizontal plane and the distance that the measuring rod is. This forms a triangle. No curvature in a triangle.
You don't have to make a triangle because you don't care about the horizontal.
They
You just-
do make triangles, Chunky.
Here, let me.
It's not a case of you don't have to. It's the only way they work.
So I'm posting LIGO as built right now. You're gonna go look at it. I have to go on mute for a bit. I didn't even
Yeah,
know if you-
suggest you do.
What's that?
I suggest
suggest
you
I what?
do. Go on mute.
Yes, I do want.
Go on mute. It's your best course of action.
So I'm gonna make sure I post this so that you can see it first.
Just go on mute.
There you go.
You don't need to have your mic live
you
to
go.
post
Are
a
you-
link.
Do you see my link, DP?
I see your link, Chucky.
Are you
No,
gonna
go
go
on.
click on it?
Go on
in
mute.
this
It's the best course of action for you.
Okay, why don't you walk
You
us
can't.
through
You
those?
can't explain your
Sorry.
claim, Chunky. You have claimed that those surveying tools measure curvature. You cannot measure
Why don't you go
curvature.
open
You
them?
cannot measure curvature using Euclidean
Yeah, sorry, keep
geometry
interrupting.
from an established horizontal plane with a change in elevation, a change in the vertical, creating a triangle. It cannot be done. I'm sick of these people bullshitting all the time.